The First World War, also known as the Great War, began in 1914. It was a global conflict that engulfed Europe and spread to other parts of the world. Powerful empires clashed in a devastating war that claimed millions of lives. Amidst the chaos and carnage, a dark chapter unfolded in the Ottoman Empire, the Armenian Genocide. This genocide targeted the Armenian people, a Christian minority living within the Ottoman borders for centuries. The war provided a cover for the Ottoman government to carry out a systematic extermination of its Armenian population. The world was preoccupied with the larger conflict, and the plight of the Armenians went largely unnoticed. This essay will delve into the history of the Armenian Genocide, examining its causes, key events, and lasting consequences. It will also shed light on the importance of remembering this tragedy to prevent future atrocities. The Ottoman Empire was once a vast and powerful empire that spanned across southeastern Europe, Western Asia, and North Africa. However, by the beginning of the 20th century, the Ottoman Empire was in decline. It had lost significant territories due to internal strife and external pressures. Nationalism was on the rise, and various ethnic groups within the empire were demanding independence. The Ottoman government, ruled by the Committee of Union and Progress, also known as the Young Turks, felt increasingly threatened by these centrifugal forces. They adopted a nationalist ideology, promoting Turkish supremacy within the empire. This ideology viewed minorities, particularly Armenians, with suspicion and distrust. Armenians concentrated in the eastern provinces of the Ottoman Empire were often perceived as a threat to the Ottoman state. Armenians had lived within the Ottoman Empire for centuries, coexisting with other ethnic and religious groups. They were primarily concentrated in eastern Anatolia, an area they considered their historical homeland. While generally regarded as loyal subjects, Armenians faced increasing discrimination and persecution towards the late 19th century. The Ottoman government subjected Armenians to discriminatory laws and practices, restricting their freedoms and economic opportunities. They faced higher taxes, were denied equal access to education, and were often treated unjustly by the Ottoman legal system. These discriminatory policies, coupled with growing nationalist sentiment within the Ottoman Empire, created a climate of hostility and distrust towards Armenians. World War I provided the Ottoman government with an opportunity to act on its long-held prejudices against the Armenians. Using the war as a pretext, the Ottoman government began its systematic extermination of the Armenian population. The genocide unfolded in stages, starting with the disarmament of Armenian soldiers in the Ottoman army. These soldiers were disarmed, placed in labor battalions, and subsequently executed. On April 24, 1915, the Ottoman government arrested and deported hundreds of Armenian intellectuals, community leaders, and clergymen in Constantinople, now Istanbul. This day is now commemorated as Armenian Genocide Remembrance Day. This event marked the beginning of the genocide as the Ottoman authorities rounded up Armenian civilians and deported them to the Syrian desert. Section 5. A Nation Uprooted, Deportations and Massacres. Following the arrests of prominent Armenians, the Ottoman government implemented a systematic plan of deportation and extermination. Armenians throughout the empire were forced from their homes, often with only the clothes on their backs. They were driven from their villages and towns, herded together in long columns, and marched towards the Syrian desert. These death marches were characterized by unimaginable brutality. Armenians were subjected to starvation, dehydration, disease, and constant attacks by Ottoman gendarmes and Kurdish irregulars. Many perished along the way, their bodies left to rot by the roadside. Those who survived the journey were often sent to concentration camps in the Syrian desert, where they faced further horrors. Section 6. Voices from the Abyss. Victims and perpetrators. The Armenian genocide claimed the lives of an estimated 1.5 million Armenians. Families were torn apart, communities were destroyed, and a rich cultural heritage was nearly wiped out. Among the victims were countless innocent men, women, and children who were systematically murdered based solely on their ethnicity and religion. While the Ottoman government orchestrated the genocide, numerous individuals played a role in carrying out these atrocities. Mehmed Talat Pasha, the Minister of the Interior, is considered one of the main architects of the genocide. He issued the deportation orders and oversaw the extermination campaign. Other key figures included Enver Pasha, the Minister of War, and Jamal Pasha, the Minister of the Navy. Section 7. Scars on Humanity, the Genocide's Aftermath. The Armenian genocide left deep scars on the Armenian people and the world. The survivors were scattered across the globe, carrying with them the trauma and loss of their homeland. Many found refuge in countries like the United States, France, and Lebanon, where they rebuilt their lives and kept the memory of the genocide alive. The genocide also had significant geopolitical implications. It destroyed the once thriving Armenian communities in the Ottoman Empire, contributing to the empire's ethnic and religious homogenization. The international community, preoccupied with World War I, failed to intervene effectively, setting a dangerous precedent for future genocides. Section 8. Lest we forget. Remembering the Armenian Genocide. The Armenian Genocide stands as a stark reminder of the horrors that can unfold when hatred and intolerance are allowed to fester. It is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, as survivors and their descendants have fought tirelessly for recognition and justice. Remembering the Armenian Genocide is essential to prevent future atrocities. By acknowledging and understanding the events of the past, we can learn from them and work towards a future where such horrors are never repeated. It is our collective responsibility to remember the victims, honor their memory, and speak out against all forms of intolerance and discrimination.